Hey guys, welcome back to the Obi Thorin Alliance. We're really pumped to do something pretty cool today. What are we doing?
We are grading Disney Plus since it's 3 years old.
So stick around, see what grade it got, see what we thought, see what we liked, what we didn't like. So stick around. So, Disney Plus, 3 years old. It's gone quick, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
When it first started, what did we have?
Just The Mandalorian and the Jeff Goldblum show.
Yeah, and then obviously it came with the back catalogue of previous Disney Pixar stuff. But in terms of new, we're given The Mandalorian. That was kind of its showpiece, and that took off. People went wild for The Mandalorian, and we'll promise some Marvel content coming out, and it was few and far between. And what do you think now, 3 years on? Are we getting the content we were promised? Are we getting too much content? Not enough content?
Oh, it's been really good. I think it's hitting its stride now. I think it's definitely the best competitor against Netflix, and eventually it will take over, I think, from Netflix.
Yeah, we did a video, maybe 2 years ago, it could have been now, where we discussed what we thought about Disney Plus, and we were both pretty adamant we think Disney Plus will reign supreme eventually. In terms of money, it tends to be the most profitable because it owns its content. And, it's kind of expanded heaps by adding, in Australia, it's added the Star Network, which comes with FX TV shows and Star Network shows. It might come under a different name depending on what region you're watching it in, but that's what we got here. And that really expanded what we had. We went from, animation from Disney and Pixar, your Marvel, your Star Wars, and then now we've just chucked in heaps of random stuff, and some of the best stuff, I think, on this came from that. Out of the Star Network, what's been one of your favourite things we've got?
Dope Sick, and probably The Patient and The Bear.
Yeah, I agree. I really like The Bear. I've only just started Dope Sick, and I've seen part of the first episode. I haven't continued on, but I really like The Bear. And we've got some classic shows that came from that. My favourite thing that I got so excited when they added it to Disney Plus was Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This was a show that's very, very hard to find and hard to watch. It's not on anywhere else. It was briefly on Amazon Prime and disappeared, and the fact it's on Disney Plus, I think, is awesome. So that to me puts Disney Plus better than any other streaming service. So you really like Dope Sick and enjoyed The Patient. I get to watch The Patient. Into the Marvel and the Star Wars stuff later, because we know that's the big stuff. What about other things? We've had Turner and Hooch.
Yes.
So we've they've revived some older Disney content and brought it back to life. So Turner and Hooch, which only got the one season.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It was a hit and miss show, but I thought it would get a couple of seasons. So we saw that. We saw the revival of this Mighty Duck franchise, of Mighty Duck's Game Changer. So we're in season two of that. It hasn't started well, season 2, I must say. Season 1 was awesome. I really enjoyed that. But that could have been that nostalgia hit. But the seasons obviously panned out a bit differently because of the Emilio Estevez. And
didn't get his vaccine.
Yeah, not wanting to get vaccinated. And, that changed probably their projection for the show. So that's a bit disappointing. Santa Claus is coming out. I saw that came out a couple of days ago. So I really liked the Tim Allen Santa Claus movies. So the fact that it's going to be a little mini show leading into Christmas, I'm very excited about that. So I don't know if I'll start it yet. I might wait till it gets a bit closer to Christmas and binge watch it. But I do love a Christmas TV show. And there's not too many of them, but when they do come out, I really enjoy that. Mysterious Benedict Society. I don't know if that's a book or where it comes from, but it's weird, but I like it. I thought the first season was awesome. Really looking forward to the next season. It's just a strange, quirky show. So that's something cool that's came out.
Big Shots.
Big Shots, another Disney original. We see, that's quite a cool, interesting show. Bit of teen drama, cool backstory about a coach, trying to revive his career after, losing his temper. I like it. Season 2 I don't think it's bad or anything. I just haven't had the time to commit to it, where season 1 came out at a time when I was really content hungry and I enjoyed it. So I will get into that. You've finished season 2?
Yes.
And comparison to season 1?
I enjoyed season 1 more.
Okay. But, that's another cool Disney original they've thrown out. What else? Disney Plus, it's got National Geographic. So, we've got lots of David Attenborough content on there. We've got a show with Chris Hemsworth, lots of things to keep you busy. But we watched a video earlier of someone else that did a similar thing to us, and they reckon that Disney Plus lack content. Do you agree with that or disagree?
No, I think it has plenty of content. If you're strictly looking for Marvel, and if that's the only thing you want, I guess your Disney Plus is the only thing you're wanting. If you want other things, well, yeah.
I must admit I haven't explored Disney Plus as much as I probably should have, but I haven't needed to because the content's been enough. But there is a lot more stuff in there, hidden gems. So I think, if you only had Disney Plus as your own streaming service, in the beginning we said, geez, you're going to be bored, you're going to run out of stuff. I don't think that's the case now. Going through some of the classic shows that are on there's, Modern Family, there's Scrubs, there's
How I Met
Your Mother, The Good Doctor. If you really want to invest some time, watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's 15 seasons on there. There's definitely not short of content, and I think you could survive with just Disney Plus, where before that was not the case. If you had to pick one streaming service, would Disney Plus be the one of choice, or do you think Netflix still reigns supreme?
I would say there's more consistent content on Disney Plus, but Netflix do come out with awesome shows here and there, but it might get cancelled.
So I originally, years ago, we said that I think Disney Plus is the future, and for now I'm happy with that. I reckon if I had to cut all streaming services and pick one, I reckon I could be settled with Disney Plus and be happy with that.
Yeah.
I actually don't think I can't remember the last time I watched anything on Netflix, to be honest.
Cobra Kai.
That would be it, and that was, binge watching over one weekend. There's nothing else I've watched in a long time on Disney Plus. So, on Netflix. So I reckon I could make the transition now, and I'd have enough content to keep me satisfied. Should we move into what people will probably hear about Disney, hear about the Marvel Star Wars content?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so let's go Star Wars first. What do you think? And maybe give it a grade with what they've produced so far.
For Star Wars, probably like a B+, with Star Wars, Mandalorian, Endor being the two best. Boba Fett and unfortunately Obi-Wan Kenobi probably being the two bottom shows.
Grading for myself, I'm not as big of a Star Wars fan as yourself, so maybe like an A-. I've been fairly happy. In saying that I haven't watched The Mandalorian, so I can't give that a rating, but I'm not interested in it. But in the content I have wanted to watch, I thought Obi-Wan was really cool. I'm liking Star Wars Andor so far. I don't have any interest in watching Book of Boba Fett, so I can't really give it a rating. I haven't watched too much of the cartoons, an animated series. We did watch Star Wars Visions together. That was kind of a quirky thing. So I give that points for being quirky, but it's not, I didn't love it, but it was quirky and different. So yeah, it's a B+ to an A-, I think, so far. The fact it's brought out quite so much content, I think is cool. But I guess as more of a Star Wars fan, you could give me a rating on how good the content is. I'm more giving a rating based on the amount of content that's brought out and the diversity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we've been very fortunate. There's constantly something new coming out, and there's more stuff coming out in the future, Star Wars. So we've really expanded this universe. So Disney Plus has been a blessing, I think, for Star Wars to revive this. It wasn't a dying franchise, but it's to give it a new life and keep it going.
Yes.
What about Marvel content? We slow start, and now we're seemingly getting one series after another. It's kind of slowed off now until next year.
I think Loki and WandaVision are like A+, and then the rest maybe C-. So that's like a overall score of like a B.
So yeah, Loki and WandaVision are by far the standouts. Really, really cool. For me, She-Hulk was really fun. Moon Knight was really disappointing and confusing.
The ending was disappointing, yeah.
I think Miss Marvel was hard to watch and not interesting at all. Other people think opposite. I did not find it interesting. But overall, we're getting quite a lot of content, and it's easy to forget how much there has been. we talk about our favorite shows and our worst shows, but then sometimes forget about the ones in the middle. And the more I think back on, I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier probably deserves more credit than what I originally gave it. Not saying it was amazing show, but I actually think compared to some of the rubbish that's been spat out, it's miles above that. It's just
the villains let it down.
It's just when you're trying to compare it to something like Loki or WandaVision, it falls below. So you know it's easy. When there was only 4 shows to choose from, it seemed really bad. But now as the pool gets bigger, it's up there and well above the ones down at the bottom. So I think it's a much better show than I gave it credit for in the beginning. Yeah, we're just getting more and more stuff. There's stuff I haven't seen yet. Werewolf by Night, I've heard good things about, and I haven't got into watching it yet. But we're getting lots and lots of Marvel content, and it's very exciting.
You see the future of Disney Plus heading...
I think they'll start to absorb other streaming services.
Like Hulu and FX and KO in America.
Yeah, I think they'll start to absorb those, or if they don't already have them, and move them across. I think they will continue to expand. I don't know what their vision is, but so far it seems like they're focusing on the Star Wars and the Marvel, which is really cool as their original products. They're bringing out some of their own little drips and drabs in terms of Big Shot and Mighty Ducks. And then I guess for the rest, they can absorb other places. There's no need for them to go and make a sitcom and try and make 15 seasons of it. Why don't we just buy Always Sunny in Philadelphia? So maybe that's their method. And, by buying maybe more exclusive niche shows too, because you think of ones that are everywhere, like The Office and the Friends. It's everywhere. So by you having it, no one goes, oh, I'm going to join that streaming service because they've got Friends. They all got Friends. Every streaming service has Friends. But if you're a fan of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, for instance, you have to go to Disney Plus. You're not getting it anywhere else. Your other option is to literally go and buy the DVDs, because you cannot even buy it episode by episode. Like it's exclusive. So maybe that's the vision. Try and pick up real exclusive shows that have already got a fan base and then drag them across. Obviously the kids space is massive. A lot of YouTube channels make so much money and they just show kids content. Myself with a young child, we're always looking for something new to keep him entertained, because kids watch shows very quickly, or they lose interest and they want something new. So I'm loving some of the stuff Disney's bringing out. Like they brought out these mini series from the Car movies. So it's like Mater and Lightning McQueen go on an adventure, and they're doing the same with Toy Story. These little 5-minute little things kids love, or like even the I Am Groot series, even though that's a bit odd, and as an adult it was quite short. But as a kid, that's like a good length. They like that. So pumping at that sort of stuff, because if parents can turn it on and go, oh, here's something to keep my kid busy, they will pay whatever just to keep that streaming service going, because that's the one the kids like. Because suddenly the kid wants to watch a show and they're like, oh, it's on Disney. Oh, we don't have Disney anymore. And the kid's crying. The parents are going to be signed up quick as possible. So I think kid content's a big money maker. And I think Disney's probably working that out, bringing out these little mini series and keeping kids entertained.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there.
Yeah, and I think as well they're bringing out a lot of movies animated in the animated space that are skipping the movies and going straight to streaming service. So I'm guessing there's some value in that. Maybe they save money, or there's more money to be made. They also have the option of when a new content comes out, if it's going to be at the movies, you can pay a premium to watch it early. I think it's really expensive. I think it's a rip-off. They need to fix that pricing. But if you, for whatever reason, don't want to go to the movies, can't make it, or you prefer watching things at home, to be able to access Disney content, the same times it comes out at the movies or on slight delay, it's not a bad thing to do. If it's $20 a ticket and you've got 5 people that want to go watch the latest movie, or you can pay $30 and watch it all at your place, it could sometimes be cheaper to do it that way. So Disney's making it accessible for everyone and finding ways to keep making money. So they're innovative. They know what they're doing.
You're not worried that Disney Plus are increasing the price, because that was kind of the positive thing at the start, is that it was the cheapest streaming service, but now they're increasing the pricing?
Oh, everything goes up,
Yes,
so
it does.
so I guess that was inevitable. It wasn't going to be the same price forever, but it hasn't been a huge price hike.
No, Netflix is expensive.
So I think it's fine because what's Disney sitting at the moment? Maybe $15 a month Australian, maybe a bit less.
I guess so.
And Netflix is
It's 120 for a year.
yeah, so 120 for a year, and Netflix in Australia is I think $23 a month or something. So over 12 months, it's over $250. It's still way cheaper. So, and I think it's better. And you got to think you're paying a premium anyway because you're getting Star Wars and Marvel content. Like these are two of the biggest franchises in the world. So I actually think it could be more expensive than Netflix, and I would still see it as better value. But at the moment, it's about half the cost, so it's winning in most categories. The only streaming service that's probably better value might be Amazon, but the content's not there for me. I think Amazon struggles content-wise compared to Disney or Netflix. But for the $50 odd a year, you get packages delivered at a discount. You get free ebooks and free music. So it's like value, it's the best, but the content's not up to scratch.
So what's been your favorite show or standout thing that you think Disney Plus has done and you would recommend it to? This is the thing that you would recommend someone to pay the service for. That's the standout.
It's a hard question to try and pay the service because most of the things I can think of you could binge watch pretty quick. But if I was to just pick out the best thing that I've liked, I think WandaVision.
So you think WandaVision is worth buying Disney Plus for?
Yeah, if you haven't already seen it, I think most people that want to see it have already seen it.
Not everyone has though.
Not everybody. If you're a Marvel fan and you've missed WandaVision, you're like 10 movies behind. So you've got a lot of catching up. You'd like to think you've already seen it. I think Loki's probably a better show, but I think WandaVision's a game changer. The way they did things, it's very unique. It's cool. Loki had a powering force behind it, and it leads into something bigger. WandaVision it's not a standalone, but it's probably the coolest production I've seen of content ever. Production-wise, it is so cool.
My choice would be Star Wars Andor. I think it doesn't feel like a Disney Plus show. It feels like a mature show, and I think if you haven't bought Disney Plus yet, this is the show that you could buy the service for. And it has one more episode left to come out, so do yourself a favour.
The thing is that with us trying to recommend this, it's both the shows we've picked, you probably want to be a Marvel or a Star Wars fan.
Well, Star Wars Andor Season 1, it doesn't feel like Star Wars.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I'm thinking they're kind of... I guess this is one thing about Disney. Their biggest draw cards, you probably want to be a fan of that genre anyway, where if you said what does Netflix specialize in? It'd be like nothing.
Binging.
Nothing. They do everything. And so does Disney. But, if you're ever going to talk about Disney, people are like, it's got Marvel, it's got Star Wars. So if you like those things, that's awesome. But your random neighbor that, is just like, I'm looking for new stuff to watch. It's very hard for you to say, you know what you'd like? You should watch WandaVision and then watch 40 movies that accompany it, and you'll really like that. So it's a hard sell. And it's the same with Star Wars. It's like, I reckon you like Star Wars Andor. They're like, I've never seen anything Star Wars. And you go, well, it doesn't feel like Star Wars. But ultimately, it's like, well, you probably should watch the other stuff too. So it's a harder sell than someone to go, on Netflix, what should I watch? Oh, Cobra Kai, it's like 4 seasons long. And you're like, okay, or 5 seasons. Like, you can push someone towards that much easier than going, how about you watch 500 hours of content to catch up?
Very true.
Yeah, so it's Disney's hard to sell to someone that's not already into that stuff. But you could at least be a Disney fan. I think most people have grown up on Disney. So, you watch the cartoons, catch the nostalgia. It's just being cheap, it seems like a no-brainer to have. But, yeah, it's hard to try and push their draw cards to people that aren't already fans. It's hard to make a new Marvel fan because there's so much content behind.
So overall, of the 3 years, how would you grade the service so far?
I think it's an A plus.
A+?
I think the price, it's killing it for price, content, original content, and it's seeming to be getting bigger and going in the right direction. So it ticks nearly every single box. You know, yes, some of the content's not great. You know, some's a standout, but my biggest fear is that it would lack content, and it does not do that. So it's not much to dislike about Disney.
For me, I'm going to go at A. I'm not going to go as perfect as Luke, because for me, the beginning of the service was not that good. It only had The Mandalorian and it didn't have much else. So when you're being critical, you got to look for things that didn't do so well, and that's the only thing that didn't do that well. Everything else, I think it's the best service at the moment, and overall can't fault it as much as that only little thing that it didn't. It was pathetic how it started, but besides that, love it.
Yeah, it's got something for everyone.
Families.
Yeah, and again, I already mentioned that some of their big drill cards is, you know, that might be a big no-no for some people, so then that kind of halves what you could watch. But if you're open or you're already a fan of those, how can you not like Disney? It's just seemingly buying up the biggest players in the game. So very happy, A+ for me.
Very good score. A+ and an A. Well, thank you for watching. We are the Obi Thorn Alliance. Like and subscribe. See you in the next video. There's a video at the end. Let the force be with you. As always, you are awesome. Bye-bye.